Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. We are post All In, and before we get started, we would just like to, first off, Elite City wants to send our condolences to the families of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt, aka Wyndham Rotunda. Both passed away this past week, and send out condolences to the families. That just really sucks. Bray Wyatt was incredible as just a visionary, and I mean, Terry Funk was just Terry Funk. So pay respects.
Yeah, the Bray Wyatt thing was shocking because I mean, Terry Funk, obviously we knew he was ill for, not that it makes it any less sad, but we knew he was ill for a while. But like Bray Wyatt, like we knew there was something, like he wasn't on TV, but that came out of nowhere, and it was he was 36 years old too. Like that's
unbelievable.
It's barely anything.
Yeah. So on that, it was a big week, but we have to kind of start on a bad note. But with saying that, we're gonna move forward. Everybody follow us on all social media at Elite City Pod. We're everywhere, so I'm not gonna sit here and name them, but at Elite City Pod everywhere. Please like, subscribe, comment. It helps. Trust us. We need it. Not really, but thank you.
We would like it.
We would like it. Yes. So would Biddy.
Oh yeah, Biddy's back. Hi, Biddy.
Hi.
Sorry that you finally returned and we just again talked over you and didn't introduce you.
It's okay. I was distracted.
Yay.
I'm paying attention now.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Biddy's back and she's paying attention now, so we've got that going for us.
Yeah. And I won the pick, so I'm awesome.
Oh yeah, you won. Nice job. Congratulations.
Finally.
Congratulations.
Took a year and a half.
Only because I wasn't on last week.
Very, very true. It's probably very true.
I'd have whooped you guys again.
Biddy, in her infinite wisdom, months ago, told everyone that Jungle Boy was going to be dastardly.
Yes.
And little did we know how correct Biddy was going to be.
Yes.
What can I say?
So
nothing. I can't say anything.
I just before we start this, I just want to say, remember, yes. I'm not willing to divulge any of the details, but remember how I told you I was in EFED like 25 years ago?
Yes.
I loved that the theme of All In was Machine Head by Bush, because that was my EFED entrance song in like 1998. And there is a part of me that thinks Tony Khan was a part of that EFED and knows that. There's a small part of me because he seems like that kind of nerd.
I questioned the use of that song. Of all songs, like there couldn't what? Bush?
Yeah, I also was like, of all
I told you. It's because it was my EFED intro song in 1998, and Tony Khan knew that. I
mean,
and it says in and out. That's why I figured it was an in and out connection. There's an in, there's an out. All in, all I don't know. I'm probably reaching, but that's what I think. So anyway, what did everyone think of the show?
It was dope.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Khan buying 81,035 tickets and giving them away to all those people was awesome.
Oh, those weren't people. That was all CGI.
Oh, see, my fault. It's even cheaper to do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the show was amazing.
Yeah,
incredible.
Super, off the charts.
I watched it late and stayed up till like 2 a.m. to watch it. And usually my problem doing that, because I have watched things late before, and like when I stay up late to watch things, I'm always slightly worried that, if I don't like it, is it just because I'm tired? And that's why. But like it was like 1:45, and I was just like, this is the greatest wrestling event of all time. Nothing about it was really bad. I can't think of anything that was actually bad.
It really felt like, they had to meet these insane expectations, and they stuck the landing. It was worth every penny. Like, they did such a great job.
Yeah. Incredible show.
And just being under the microscope, like you just said, Biddy, like they really, you say what you want, put up the double middle fingers or, saluted everybody, whatever. But it was like a big, yeah, we're here. We're rightfully here.
And it was like the perfect AEW show. There was like, high flying matches. There was hardcore matches. There was technical stuff. There was storyline stuff. Like it was all, we've said before how one of the things about AEW is it's so many different things.
Yes.
And they did that really well again.
Yeah. Well, before we get started on the pre-show, when MJF and Adam Cole won, did anybody expect that?
No, I didn't at all.
Same here.
I thought there'd be some sort of dissension, maybe on purpose dissension, or like fake, like accidental dissension, like they'd bump into one another and get rolled up or something, just to create some sort of. But yeah, I was very surprised. I liked it, but I was very surprised.
Yeah, I was annoyed for like 30 seconds, and I was like, okay, no, that was awesome. It was like, I think I was mad just because I didn't want it to happen, and then I was like, oh man, and then I was over it.
I also really liked that the first match in front of this massive crowd was a ROH tag title match.
That was really cool. Again, it was just another like, there's an option now.
Yeah.
The first match of the night, would you have started with Punk versus Joe, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, because it got the crowd into it. Yeah, I thought the match was great. I was thinking it might have been one of it might have been my match of the night. I'm not sure, but it was really good.
It was so good. And just like the build of, they made it seem like they were really feuding for 20 years.
Right.
Like it was just really, really well done through and through.
They both have this, like, they're older, obviously, so they can't wrestle like they did 20 years ago. But they have this, like, aura around both of them, and they're both kind of like the angry old veteran now, so it works. It was really good.
Yeah.
I do like, it was like 5 minutes into the match, and the announcer's table graphic thing on the front immediately destroyed.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you still got like 5 more hours.
And I love how much JR just, you could tell, loves both of them.
Oh yeah.
You could tell there's a part of him that's just like, how did they ever get let go or released from any company? Because like he's mentioned repeatedly on other shows, like Samoa Joe, how would anyone not want him on their team? Like he's just like,
yes.
You could tell he loves them both, and he's right to love them both. They're doing great.
Yeah, and just the way that this match was like put together, like I haven't seen anything like, normally, you'll see people like, oh, this was taken from a Roddy Piper match, or like I haven't seen any of that yet, but I'm sure they did it.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious when people figure out what it was, like how obscure it was.
Yeah.
Because it had to be, if nobody's figured it out
from
yet.
Some match in like 1993.
Yeah.
And that was like in front of a crowd of 60 people that they happened to see. Yeah. I loved Joe trying to do the walk away from, how he walks away from someone diving at him, and he did it once, and Punk noticed it and waited for him to walk away and then jumped on him, but then he managed to do it later. It was great.
Now, how do you feel about people ragging on the Pepsi plunge at the end?
I mean, it wasn't perfect. He didn't get his arms right behind his back perfectly, but I noticed it for half a second and then didn't care.
Same here. And then I was also like, oh, these are older people that just put on one hell of a banger match.
Yeah.
And they were outside and sweaty too. Like, not that you're normally not sweaty, but like, get over yourself. It wasn't going to be perfect.
Yeah, I noticed it for like literally half a second and then was like, oh, whatever, and it moved on. Like, it was my only nitpick on not the match, but the angle. I don't like how they're just calling CM Punk the real world champion as if that's a thing, when it's not. Like, it's just it's just him claiming that he has a title. Like, I would prefer if they were like more annoyed at having to call, like if like Calvary was like, we all know that's not a real title. Like, it should be more of that. That's my only nitpick, but that's not on the match itself. That's on the angle.
And I agree with that. At first, I kind of thought that it like kind of demeaned not MJF's title reign, but like his title. But then I was like, oh no, everybody knows it's stupid and fake.
Yeah. I
Now
don't,
it's
I don't
just
think about it that way, but I think they should mention that it's stupid and fake, or not like stupid, but more often.
yes, I agree with you that they should just be like, like
he calls himself the real world champion, but we know he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, like they now finally put it in quotes, like
right.
But they need to do a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
Punk winning. How does everyone feel about that?
Yeah, I was pretty sure he'd win. I thought you said Samoa Joe was going to win, but I was pretty sure he was going to win because he has this real world champion thing, and he's going to keep that for a while.
Yeah, I did think Joe was going to win because I thought he was going to be the king of Collision.
He could be.
He could be. It's I don't know. I'm happy with it now, but at the time I was a little upset. I'll say.
Yeah,
that's
makes
all.
Sense.
Biddy.
You guys covered it.
Thanks, Biddy.
Sorry. I have more to say when we get a little further in.
Right.
Okay.
We're talking about like the 20-year-old reference match, and like Biddy's like, you're a very old man, so you could talk about the old man match.
I'm not that much younger than you.
Yeah, I was also just going to say that too.
Yeah, but we seem very old.
That is true.
You were still peeing the bed when I was born.
Oh, I'm still peeing the bed now.
I know. That's what I mean.
No, we just seem old.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely a grumpy old man.
We have old energy.
Well, I might have been in school when you were born, Biddy.
You were.
Thank you. So I wasn't peeing the bed.
Well,
I was talking to Rick.
Anyways, we had the BCC. No, not BCC. I can't read my own handwriting. Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita versus the Golden Elite.
Yes.
Don Callis took on some commentary. I actually thought he did a good job. He wasn't annoying, which was odd.
And he makes a point to like give the other team credit. Like he'll mention like, I hate Kenny Omega, but he's still a good wrestler. Like he doesn't like.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. They made Takeshita look like a mega star. Even if he hadn't won the match, I was thinking that during the match, even if before it was over, thinking, they're making Takeshita look like a mega star in this match, and rightfully so. Like he's great.
Totally. Everybody in this match did everything in their power to get him to the next level, and they succeeded. The match itself was great. The story within it is great, and I mean Takeshita pinned Omega, unreal.
Yeah. And the guns are just delightful these days.
Yes, and Bullet Club Gold in general.
Yes, I love them. I thought the guns were kind of lame, and Juice Robinson was kind of cheesy before, but now I think they're all great, and I love having them on TV.
I love Juice's energy.
He's the best.
It's like
him and Tony. Imagine what that house is like.
I like because they both have like wacky nut job characters now. It's great.
Yeah.
They're probably like their house is probably the calmest place on earth.
I know, because they get to be like crazy on TV, and then they go home and they're just like, so what would you like to do this evening? I'm reading a novel, and they just like sit quietly.
As am I.
Yes. Yes.
This catapulted Takeshita to the next level. What do you think is next for Takeshita?
I hope he beats Omega.
I was gonna say he's got Omega coming up, so
I think he will too, because I think Kenny's gonna put him over.
Okay, I'm all in on that. Excuse the pun. I didn't even try it. That's the sad part.
I think Kenny's decided that he's gonna put him over, and that's just what he's gonna do.
Oh, that's gonna be unreal. Okay. And anything else to add to that match? I mean,
Hangman is super over.
Oh yeah, the Golden Elite in general are over, but yes,
I want Hangman needs a feud. Hangman needs something to do. I figure I know what Kenny's gonna do. He's gonna feud with Takeshita. He's gonna go after Don Callis. I don't know what Hangman's gonna do.
Now, how about some? Well, if we just take people in this match, Hangman and Jay White, I'd take that.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Hangman and
that.
Juice Robinson. That would be fun.
Yeah. Anyone in Juice Robinson would be
Anybody
fun.
in Juice Robinson would be great.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want Hangman and Jay White.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be a banger.
Because they have some like New Japan connections they can do too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be good.
That'd be very fun. World tag titles. I mean, this match writes itself. Bucks versus FTR. How many false finishes were there?
Yeah, the only problem I had with the false finishes is I'm not gonna like, you know, Jim Cornette this where I'm like, modern wrestling, too many false finishes. Like, I don't care about that. I don't.
Right.
My only problem is I hate when the commentators act like there's a false finish and they go, well, that's it. 1, 2, 3. Like as soon as they say that's it, you know that's not it.
Right.
That's my only problem with the false finishes. Like, as soon as Excalibur would be like, well, that's the end of the match. I'm like, well, I know he's gonna kick out now. Because you never actually say that when it's the end.
You spoiled it.
Yeah. That was my only problem. Like, otherwise it was a great match. I wish they wouldn't have done that with the commentary.
What did everybody think of the Bucks gear?
I knew they'd do some, you know, Britain themed thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Freddie Mercury stuff was cool.
I thought it was awesome too. Just
their intro theme that they had didn't really catch on, I don't think.
Yeah, I was very confused by it.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was happening. to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised that FTR won.
Really?
Yeah. Just because of everything going on. I thought the Bucks were gonna win, but
Well, I mean, the court proceedings and whatnot, you know, are a bit down the road, so they've got time before they have to really deal with all that.
yeah, I just figured the safer option would be to give it to the Bucks just in case.
True.
And again, this is just me. If there was any sign of guilt in him, not the defense, the prosecutors would have taken his passport. Like,
yeah, it's possible.
You don't pull a gun on somebody in the United States and not become a fly risk. I mean, you instantly become a fly risk.
Aren't you kind of required to pull a gun on someone in the United States?
Especially in Florida.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
absolutely.
To get your passport, you have to pull your gun on someone.
Yeah.
That's how it works down there.
That's part of proving that you're American. You get to the border and they're like, "Are you American?" And you show them your passport. They go, "No, prove it to me." And then you have to pull out a gun.
Yes. Then he throws a bottle up there and you have to shoot it out of the air.
And then they're like, "Oh, you're American. Here you go."
You just twirl it around your finger and put it back in your holster, jump on your horse and ride away.
That's right.
Yeah, that's totally America.
I'm just assuming. I've never been to Florida, but I'm just assuming.
Oh yeah. I said America. It's totally Florida.
As someone who has driven in Florida, you know, I can kind of understand him pulling a gun on those drivers.
Now we have evidence in case Biddy ever pulls a gun on someone. We're like, she was on a podcast saying she would. That's right.
Right. Yeah. Done a run for office now, Biddy. Great
match though. Very good match. I like that.
Okay.
Great matches. I mean, we could just go through every match and just be like, that was great, and then like,
just out of the three, this is what I wanted to ask everybody: was this one the best?
Out of their three, like the three tag matches?
Yeah,
probably.
I agree too. Just I think this one, like the first one, okay, but then you knew there was going to be a second one,
right?
And then you basically knew who was going to win, so there could be a third. So
right, yeah.
I don't know. I like this one and being not knowing, which is always fun.
I agree.
Stadium Stampede.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
that was a lot.
Yeah. So I know I told you guys, but my best friend came over and watched a bit of this with me, and I go, "There will be blood." And I wish I could have recorded her facial expressions and reactions. She was just like, what is happening? She was
amazing.
Like, oh my God, what's with the forks?
Okay, I have a problem with the forks.
I know, that was a layup for you, Rick.
Yeah.
Please take the floor.
Okay.
My problem with the forks is not like the blood, because there's blood all the time. My problem with the fork is like, it seems like out of wrestling to be stabbing. Like at this point, you're just stabbing somebody, right? It's not like
True.
most weapons in wrestling are like you're hitting somebody with a thing, right?
Yeah,
like you're
like
hitting them with a
a
chair,
bat
hitting them with a
or-
bat,
yeah,
or you're throwing them through something, right? But this is just like, why don't you just have a knife at this point? Like, if you're gonna be stabbing someone in the face, like
There
I
was a lot of stabbing in this match.
it was the stabbing bothers me not from like a violent standpoint, but just it doesn't fit. I don't know. Like if you could just stab someone in the face, like isn't that just all? Like can Mox just do that? Whatever, he just stab people. Like that's his whole thing. Like
Counterpoint: skewers in the head of worthy stabbing.
Incredible.
that
That
was
was the
I didn't
best
like
part.
it. I didn't like
Oh.
it until some of them fell out and they all splayed in this. Then
Oh.
I laughed and then I was okay.
I laughed so hard.
It was incredible.
So did my friend. She's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. I was actively mad though at him stabbing Orange Cassidy because I'm like, it's Orange Cassidy. You can't stab him. You can stab like other people. That's fine. But like, I love Orange Cassidy. You can't stab him. That's not fair.
Don't ruin one of the few attractive male gingers in the world.
My other problem with Mox, and it's not Mox doing anything wrong. Like I said with the stabbing, Mox just seems so like, I know his character is he's like willing to do stuff that other people aren't willing to do. Like he's willing to stab you in the head with a fork.
Right.
And no one else is willing to do that. But because he's willing to do this stuff, he just seems like so dominating over everybody. Like in a stadium stampede match, like if you're all hitting each other with a kendo stick and Mox is stabbing you in the
true.
eye,
Right.
Like obviously he's winning, right? Like he
is
just
true.
seems like he seems too overpowering to me. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna do this flippy move and set you up, and he's like, nope, screwdriver in the forehead, and he doesn't like yeah, that guy wins. Like the guy who's willing to stab you in the face, he's the guy who wins. So I don't know. He seems a little overpowering. Like I know he lost, but he's like their team lost, but he does seem a little like I don't know.
I agree, and I disagree at the same time.
Yeah.
I think the reason he uses the fork is just to throw back to it's like in the 70s.
Right.
Now, as far as everything else that you said, I agree with. It doesn't make any sense to like why would you try to use a chair?
Right.
Why, yeah, like if you could just bring like legit weapons,
like I get that the thing is like, oh, he's willing to do it, and the other guys aren't like willing to stab you in the face with a fork. Like I get that, but like they're willing to, smash a chair over your head. So why are they not willing to stab you in the face with a fork? Right. Like,
and I'd be willing to like protect myself from being stabbed in the face with a fork. So
Right.
I'd have a weapon too.
Yeah. Like at this point, he's going to have a fork.
Yes.
Right. So,
Right.
I don't know, it seems a little. It's just like when he had that match with Hangman and he used a brick. I'm like, you can't hit a guy in the head with a brick. Like that's murder, right? Like, you can't. It's too far. Not violence wise, just like logic wise, it's too far.
True.
But
You
the
guys
match is
heard
fun.
it here. Rick likes to watch people getting their brains bashed out with bricks.
Yes.
Now,
I did see someone say on Reddit, which I actually kind of agreed with. Should they because obviously these matches, just like Blood and Guts, they're hard to do live because there's like a million people doing different stuff.
Right,
And
right.
they missed a couple things.
Yeah.
For sure.
So someone said, should they release like an edited version later? Like they have all the footage. Should they put it together? Should they put it together so they don't miss stuff and release
I
that
think
would be
later?
really cool.
That's an excellent
Yeah.
because they were, and as someone who has like directed live events, like being able to direct that and like know where to switch when and so it's very hard. And
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's like incredibly hard, especially because there's like 5 different things happening at any one time, right? I get it that it's difficult. So yeah, maybe they should release like a director's version or something.
Did you guys notice that they are going to release this on like a Blu-ray and DVD?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that pop up at one point.
Nice.
Which I thought was very weird in the people don't buy physical media anymore.
But you're the old man of the group. You have cable and like
Yeah.
order pay-per-view like from a cable
Correct.
company.
He
But
calls, he calls them,
refused
hello.
I
One wrestling,
refuse to buy
please.
physical media.
I'm surprised that you're not also into physical media.
No, Jesus Christ, no.
I mean, I still am a little bit, depending on what it is.
Digital
I don't-
everything.
I like
don't wanna
digital
have to-
everything. The only concern I have with digital everything, I'm not going to go into this, but is that it can disappear, right? You could buy a
Right.
movie and then they're like, we lost the rights to that movie, sorry, and it's just gone.
Right. That's why I'm still like something I really want. I still buy a physical copy of.
Yeah,
So I guess I'm the old man.
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm the young hip one. I'm hip about everything. I have an internet connection. I got it all. I have an
Yes, you
internet
do.
connection.
I was gonna say of all things you could have picked, this is 97.
Have you kids heard of this World Wide Web?
You can surf it.
Anyways, on that note, Penta Oscuro.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah,
Because
I
he
have
was
thoughts.
wearing he was regular Penta wearing all black, and then
Yes.
came out as like dark Penta wearing bright red. I'm like, shouldn't it have gone?
yes.
Shouldn't have gone the other way around. Why is dark Penta brighter?
Yeah, that
I
was
never
kind of
thought of
weird
that.
and yeah, confusing because yeah, he came out again with intro music. I was like, what's happening?
And he
Now-
changed his whole costume, but like he still won't get a mask that they can't just easily remove at all times because like he loses his mask like every other match.
True. Now, my one question with this is, and again, something that either I personally could have missed or they could have missed on TV. Was there a reason that he like got like? Was there a like him being fake hurt? Like, did I
Yes.
miss some? Okay,
Yeah,
see, I missed all-
he did get fake hurt at some point. I don't know
Okay.
what happened, but he got that early in the match. He got hurt and like carried out.
Okay, see, I totally did not. I missed all that.
So,
Okay.
speaking of on this topic, and it came up later in the night too. What are your guys' thoughts on like when wrestlers have a different gimmick and are like, oh, that's the mean one, like Penta or Jericho's Painmaker, or even like Billy Gunn, like, oh, he's the badass now. Like, do you like that? Oh, he has a different nickname, so therefore he's a different person.
I mean, yeah, just and this for marketing reasons, like they could make more money by selling
Yeah,
more shirts.
But does it like
I
just 'cause
mean, I'm-
they're going to call
one of
you
my-
something else? Now you're tougher.
I don't know. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time is Mick Foley. So, and he did all three in the
Right.
same match. So,
I feel like he did it better. Like they were actually different.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, that is true. He
like
just didn't have to,
Dude
like,
Love and Mankind wrestled completely differently.
that. Yeah, it wasn't just like he put on a pair of red trunks. Like it was
Right.
a
And
different person, different
now he's like,
moveset.
now he's dark Mankind, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
True. So
don't know,
you're saying that if they're gonna have, you know, two quote characters, they need to be very drastically different.
yeah, I would think so. Because what
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
How does Penta Oscuro wrestle differently from Penta?
True. Well, that's why the Dark Danhausen works.
Yeah, because he's different.
Because he's totally different.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, well, not, I mean, no disrespect. I was going to say he's an actual wrestler then. Sorry, Danhausen. You're way tougher than I'll ever
But
be.
yeah, no, he is.
yes.
He wrestles. He acts differently. Yeah, it
Yeah.
works. Yeah, the Penta thing was low. I forgot about it until you mentioned it, but it was fine. Like it didn't hurt the match, but it was just
I just, my one thing that bothered me of all ways to bring him back, like, why didn't they play like Cero Miedo and then the Dark Penta music? Like, I
Yeah.
was like, what the hell's going on? And
Yeah.
who is this? Like, I thought it was like
at
somebody
least
debuting.
Alex Abrahantes didn't come out with like the spooky like cape that he had that
Oh,
one time.
That would have been awesome.
That was so lame.
It was lame, but that would have made it awesome. Anyways, Eddie didn't light anybody on fire.
I was a little surprised.
Surprisingly.
He got hit in the
Surprisingly.
face with a bottle though.
He did.
That last shot of him and Mox in the barbed wire flipping each other off.
Yeah.
that was great.
I want
That
more
was-
of Eddie Mox. Just like they're
Same.
I want them to talk. I want them to explain themselves. I want them to like have emotions. I want like a big thing with them.
I guess they were the last two to leave the ring and they like bickered the entire way up the ramp.
That's amazing.
I love because Eddie's just always mad all the time. It's great.
Yeah, as is Mock. So
Yeah.
like, of course they're friends.
Yeah. It's great. And I also like because no one's ever really explained why he hates Claudio. They're just like, he's hated him for 20 years. They never tell you why. He just has. Like, Eddie just decided he hates him and just does. Like, it's great.
And I could totally see Eddie being like that typical like New Yorker slash like just judges you, and then it's that way for the rest of time.
Right. Yeah.
Like you could be a saint, and he's like, "No, dude's no good, man."
Yeah.
Dude,
Claudio like wore something he didn't like at some
Right.
point, or like, yeah, cheered for a different sports team, and he just hates him now.
Yeah. And then forever is just hatred.
He just has something against the Swiss.
Yes, that's.
I also really enjoyed that Best Friends got to be on this show because they haven't done much recently, but that was cool.
Hell yeah, and they killed it too.
They did. They really did.
But
they did.
Sue was even there.
Yes, I loved Sue.
Yeah.
I love how they kept.
Sue got a new van.
They're like, oh my god, Sue has an English driver's license.
Yeah.
But it was an American car, wasn't it? I thought the steering wheel was on the
No,
left.
it was a Mercedes.
The steering wheel was on the left side, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, the steering wheel was on the left side.
It wasn't a British car.
I don't know.
Yeah, the steering wheel
Maybe
was
she
on
was
the...
a passenger.
Nah, she
But-
was driving on the left. It was a Mercedes, but it wasn't a British one.
Oh, that's weird.
But I loved that. I liked it because it was like Sue's revenge. Her van got beat up before,
Yes.
and then she got revenge too. That was cool.
Funny, just real quick story. Me having to explain all that to my buddy Brett was
Why is this guy's mom here?
Same. I had to explain it to Kat. She's like, "What is this?"
yeah.
Why is this lady here in a van?
Well, like when the vans pull up, it's like, "Oh my god, it's Sue!" And he looks at me, he's like, "Huh?" And I give it out. I was like, "Hold on, let me get this out." And I was like, "Dude, it's Sue. It's just so awesome." And then this like older woman, because I was like, "Okay, that's Trent's mom." And he's like, "Who is Trent?" I was like, "That guy on the ground bleeding. That's her son." Oh, see, they hugged. And he was like, "Oh my god, this is so disturbing." And
I
like,
loved it.
Oh, I loved every
I was
second of it,
actively
too.
upset when they did that parking lot match and they trashed Sue's van. Like I was
Yeah.
mad that they did it. So I was glad that Sue got her revenge. Like it's silly, but like this, they made me care about this. Like they made me care
Yeah.
about Sue's van. Like I think I
Yes.
told both you guys, but like when Orange Cassidy won the match, I was so happy. Like I was in by myself at like midnight, like cheering. Like I don't even like I like Orange Cassidy, but I didn't know I liked him that much. But apparently I do. Like
Well, that cat was like, "Why is his hands in his pocket? Why is he in all denim?" I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah, I had to explain a lot to her.
he's great. I'm
Oh,
happy. I hope he never loses this title now.
It's such a run. Oh my god.
See, it seems like he's going to face Mox next, and I don't want Mox to win. Like Mox is great. I
Yeah.
love Mox, but I don't think he should. I think if Orange is going to win, it should be like I don't know, someone like Moxley doesn't need this belt.
Right.
Moxley doesn't need this win, right? I feel like it should be
Right.
someone maybe who needs it more.
I agree. Who could that be?
I thought it was going to be Swerve, and then it wasn't. So now I have no idea.
Jack Perry. Oh,
Ah,
But
only
only
if
if
he's
they,
allowed to use real glass.
yes, a
Yeah.
parking lot brawl with only glass. Like a Hall of Mirrors match where they have to throw
Yeah.
each other through the glass wall. Yes,
mirrors, glass wall, fluorescent tubes.
that's right.
All
Only
that.
things that are made of glass. You can
Only-
use any weapon you want, but it has to be made of glass, real glass.
Also, Orange like wrapping his wrist in duct tape and then dipping it in that broken
Yes.
glass. Like
Yes.
that was pretty badass.
That was cool.
Now they use movie glass there.
Yeah,
And-
pretty because it broke really easily.
I was gonna say the way that how that thing didn't break beforehand was like magical to me. Like they threw
Jack
that.
Perry's in
thing-
the background cursing, being like, "You should have used real glass."
Yeah, like they threw that little bucket thing around and the bottle stayed in it, and then like Orange just like taps it on the side and it just
And it
exploded.
completely shatters. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, that's the right thing to do.
Oh,
don't,
totally.
Don't hit someone with an actual bottle.
Right. Yeah. And why Jack Perry ever wanted to use real glass is beyond me. Like that's the dumbest thing.
I know we didn't talk about his match because it was a pre-show match, but like that match was fun. It was good.
Oh, it was great.
But like, yeah, his insistence on using real glass is weird.
It's so odd. And like especially like is like someone from Hollywood. Like if his dad was still around, he was like,
Right.
dude, like no, that's not how that works.
The best is as soon as you mentioned his dad, I pictured Christian popping in and be like, his dad's dead, you know. His dad's not dead.
He's gonna call in live somehow.
Somehow Christian just interrupts
Just
the
joins
podcast.
the call.
His dad's dead.
Oh yeah, remind me when we get to that match. Remind me to tell you what Kat said about about that.
All right.
Okay. Well, we're moving right along to the women's four-way. As Saraya got Queen, we
That was
talked
really
about
cool.
yeah,
That
we
was really-
talked about the
Tony Khan
possibility.
shelled out some money there for that.
100%.
Well, between that and Metallica, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a theory on the Metallica song though. Just real quick. Old song off of the first record. So it's probably cheaper than like post Black Album Metallica songs.
I mean, WCW used it, so
True.
like it can't be. I mean, they also used Jimi Hendrix though, so they were also willing to spend money on stuff. So
True.
I don't know.
But anyways, Queen had to be like
Had to be
I would
alive.
love to know what they spent on that.
Yeah.
Like it had to make Danielson's look cheap. It had to.
I was really
Anyway.
happy for her.
Yes.
Super happy for her.
Yeah. Like those were real tears.
Yes, they were.
And she's been through like not just the injury, like all kinds of stuff, and like the fact that she is here and gets to win a title. Like I wouldn't have picked her to win the title, but I was happy that she did.
Yeah, well, that's what made me win because I
There you
did
go.
pick her to win the title.
That's right.
Just all in all, everybody in this match, the match was fantastic. This was my match of the show.
And can we talk about Tony Storm's deranged Hollywood star character? Because I love it. I think
It's
great.
amazing.
Go. It's yes, it go. It's
She's
all
so
you.
good. She's so it's so good because it's happened like naturally. She didn't just walk out one day and was like, I'm a deranged, 1930s Hollywood star. But like it happened kind of gradually, and it's so good. Like it fits her. Like
It does.
the gimmick she had before, where she was just like tough girl, kind of like it was good. But like this, she's doing such a good job at it, and it makes sense. And it like I don't know, it's fun. I like it so much.
She has amazing facial expressions.
She
That
does.
She
that,
does.
like, scowl thing she does with her mouth.
Yeah.
She looks deranged.
She looks deranged, but still looks like a Hollywood star. Like she doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
It's great.
Also, she's tough as hell because that stomp that Britt did when Saraya had her tied up, I mean, her head bounced kind of hard off that stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that looked really brutal.
Yeah. But the hip attack she does always looks brutal too.
The
I
hip
know, it
attack
looks-
Like I don't
insane.
know. Like I know they're like they snap their head back before she hits them, but like
The
still.
timing.
the timing has to be perfect, and you're still snapping your head back and hitting the
Right.
turnbuckle, right? Like it's still a fit. Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
we witness the end of the Outcasts?
I like how they did it. If that's the end, I really like Ruby coming out and being like, "You can't do that, you'll kill her," and Tony like being like, "I don't care," and then Ruby being like,
Right.
"Well, fine, I tried," and just like, walking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I think they'll give us like a segment and then
Yeah, they'll try. Maybe
They'll try.
Maybe Ruby will try to
Yeah.
keep them together, being like, "No, you guys, you're friends," and Ruby will try to keep them together, and then it'll fall apart.
yeah. I think it's over, but I don't think it ended there.
Yeah, I think that's the next match though. Tony against Saraya.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
Sounds like they're setting up for Mercedes to come
oh
in
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
this
yeah,
time.
for sure.
Especially at the media scrum. That
So they
Yes.
like that was we're jumping ahead, but they showed her a lot during the Acclaimed match.
I saw a comment on Reddit. It was like, oh, it's like someone got the memo that she needs to be shown more.
Yeah, like they got to that point. It was like, "Oh, we promised you to be on TV 6 times. She's only been on twice." Yeah, or something. Yeah, that would make sense. Because why the Acclaimed? Like she's not going to wrestle the Acclaimed.
True. And like, did she buy her ticket because she didn't have a good seat? Just
I
saying.
think
It's in that was the club box. So
That was a box, I think. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah. That's
So what do you
know.
think of that? How they introduced her that way? She didn't like show up, and she didn't do anything. She was just there.
I don't think you need to. Just her presence is enough because
Yeah.
of who she is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what I've read is the reason they did that is because she has a cat, like she has a walking boot, and they didn't
Oh,
want her.
really?
They didn't
Okay.
want her like limping down to the ring. So
Okay.
this way they could have her just sitting, and they didn't have to show her leg. But yeah, her presence is. You're right. She just has to be sitting there, and it's a big deal.
Oh, we're gonna get this soon.
Yeah, I don't know how long till she's better, but obviously, like, they wouldn't be showing her that much if she wasn't going to be there. And they alluded to her against Saraya for sure. So,
is she signed?
I think it might be like a Will Ospreay situation where she's like she works for New Japan, but has like an understanding that she'll be in AEW.
Right. Okay, I agree with that.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
That'll be good. I don't know when they'll do it. Like. Great. October, November, like full gear, maybe. She might be fine for then. It's November. Yeah. I can see that.
Oh, my goodness. Anyways,
one of the many new AEW pay-per-views.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, we'll get there. Coffin match was next. Sting and Darby versus Swerve and Christian. Like we alluded to, Sting and Darby got Seek and Destroy by Metallica.
Yes.
Which, awesome.
Yes.
And I don't know how Darby can walk. That's the we'll start there.
How is he a person? Like I don't understand. Like you have any other person fall on their spine on like corners that like how? I don't get it.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, I just woke up. My back was terrible the day of the pay-per-view. Literally was bedridden, and like I said, my buddies were here, but I was just laying down. And when that happened, I was like, oh god damn it, like why would you do that? It just like made me sick. It's like,
yeah, I told you, like I hurt my back doing literally nothing.
Yeah,
just existing, and like it hurt for days, and like I couldn't do stuff. Like I was laying like, how is Darby? Like he's landing spine first on the corners of stairs, and like how?
I told Kat, I was like, hey, Sting is 64 years old. And she's like, he threw himself through a table. And she's like, why is he still doing this? And then I was like, oh, yeah. And Darby, I think, wants to die in the ring. And sure enough, and she's like, what's wrong with these people?
Like, Darby, like, I love Darby. I think, like, every time he does something like that, like, I'll pop for it, obviously, but like someone needs to talk. Like Mick Foley needs to be like, come on, like I did stuff like that and like I can't walk anymore, so like just come on. Like I do feel like he needs to slow down a little bit.
I totally agree. And the fact that he can actually wrestle, like if he wants to do those things like once, twice a year for special occasion.
Yeah, if Wembley was the only time he was doing that, fine. You'd be like, oh, it's Wembley Stadium. It's a big show.
He's going to do it tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, in some random match with like some random person, he's just going to be like, oh, you know what? Why don't you drop me on the top turnbuckle, spine first? Yeah, see what happens.
And that's he doesn't just do it every match. He does it multiple times a week.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's not like even Sting. Like obviously he's 64, but Sting is like a special attraction, right? Like Sting wrestles every couple months. Like Darby's there every week. Like doing the same stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know.
And like literally, he better knock on wood as much as he can, because like people get broken legs and somehow he's like not done anything. I think he broke his collarbone since he's been in AEW.
Right.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Biddy, you said you had a story about Christian.
Oh, yes. So at one point Nigel goes like, oh, the father of the year, and Kat goes, well, why do you say that? And so I had to explain about how he kicked his own kid out of the arena.
And how he also just hates dads in general.
Yeah. She's like, why? I'm like, because he's crazy? I don't know. Because it's funny.
Now, does Christian Cage have like a dad who's alive? Does anyone know?
I don't
Does
know.
Christian have daddy issues?
Because like if he does, like they have to put his dad on TV at some point. Like
and he'll just claim, who is this man?
Get him out of here.
I don't know who you are.
Oh, but like two things I want to say. First of all, I forgot to mention it. The BCC match. Someone had a Bluey Combat Club sign in the audience.
I thought of you when I saw that.
I was so happy because if you have kids, first of all, and you haven't watched Bluey, watch Bluey. It's outstanding. If you don't have kids, just watch Bluey anyway. It's still a really good show. even though it's for like 8-year-olds or 6-year-olds. Watch it; it's great.
Is Bluey like the cartoon version of Blue's Clues?
No, Bluey's a blue dog, but it's a great show.
It's Australian.
It's Australian, yeah.
Okay.
It's the most, not to make this a Bluey podcast, but it's the most like realistic parenting TV show ever made. It's great, and it's like a 7-minute cartoon dog, but it's great. I love it.
Interesting.
My kid grew out of it, and I still watch it because it's great.
It took me everything not to send you a picture of that. I was like, he said no spoilers. I'm like,
yeah, but I was very excited.
There were some incredible signs in the crowd.
Yes.
That crowd was so hyped.
Yes.
Yeah, they were really loud, like all night long.
That made the show extremely great too. I mean, those people were hyped.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And well, hold on, we'll get there in a minute. Darby and Sting got the win. Rick, does Sting ever lose in AEW?
Unless he wants to like go out, like retire losing, I'd say no. Like maybe he wants to be like, oh, my last match I want to lose, because some people do. But
okay.
Otherwise, no. I think he should just win all the time.
I agree.
Why not? Sting.
1000%. Why not? It's Sting. Yeah, that's the reason right there. Why not? It's Sting. Totally.
Now, we can't really talk about Christian without talking about Edge, can we?
Well, we were getting there, so go ahead.
I know you always thought he was coming. I was like, there's no way he's coming. But now I'm fully in with you, and I 100%. I desperately want him in AEW. And I mean, there's an October pay-per-view now, and his contract runs out at the end of September. So doesn't seem like he's. I mean, he could be using this for like he initially used AEW for leverage when he was coming back. And I feel like if Vince McMahon was in charge, he would just pay him the money so he wouldn't come to AEW. He'd be like, $10 million short, just so he wouldn't. But I mean, he's not anymore. Right. And I don't think like UFC really particularly cares where Edge goes. So and I think he's coming.
I agree, because they're going to look at his age. Like, you know, like their board of directors no longer cares about legacy unless you're like Hulk Hogan. Like they know Hulk Hogan, they could put his name or face on anything. It's going to make millions of dollars.
I mean, they're set with like their money, right? Like they make billions. They don't need him to make billions of dollars.
Right.
But
so
I don't think they're going to care. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not going to pay someone like Edge millions of dollars for a smaller return when they can just randomly give one of those old guys, you know, just cut them a check
or give like Logan Paul or something, like a celebrity, right? Like something like that. Yeah. To their eyes, they'll be like, oh, why would we give him this money when we can give it to like, you know, some other celebrity who can probably give a bigger return.
Right. And that's unfortunately their business model right now. So
but I think he's coming.
And well, so then I'm going to throw it to you again. Do they feud, or because I asked you once before? So do they feud or do they tag at first?
I want them to feud because it would be really good. It'd be really, really good. But they kind of have to tag for a while. Okay. I feel like they have to. I feel like they have to have them in tag team. They have to have them like have a match with the Bucks or a match with the Hardys again or something, because that's what everybody wants.
At this point, do you just, if you sign Edge, do you just throw a bunch of money at Team 3D and have a TLC match?
Yeah, why not? Like, why not?
Seriously.
You're halfway there. Just go all the way.
Right.
I mean, even if the match is terrible, just do it.
Right. Totally. Who cares? All right. Moving right along. Jericho versus Will Ospreay. Wow.
It was good.
Very.
I wanted to not like it because I'm annoyed at Jericho, but like, no, it was good.
Like it was very good. Will Ospreay obviously did a lot of the heavy lifting, but Jericho held his own.
Yeah.
It wasn't super one-sided.
No, my only knock on it was he sang his own song, which I get what he wanted to do, but like you couldn't hear the crowd. I wanted there to be a crowd moment where they were singing the song because it was such a big, loud crowd, but you couldn't really hear the crowd because he was singing.
Yeah. So
such a Jericho thing.
It's such a Jericho thing. It totally is. And
Will Ospreay's ridiculously good.
Insane.
So good. I mean, like he said, he beat Omega, Okada, and Jericho in a 2-month span.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the new October pay-per-view, isn't it in
Wrestle Dream?
Isn't it in like Seattle?
Yes.
Is Danielson gonna be back for that?
Probably.
Depends on his arm.
Because if he beat Omega, Okada, and Jericho, can he beat Danielson? That would be outstanding.
I mean, you just give him the Hall of Fame ring now. Then
just like have him go against Danielson. Why not?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That's just something to think about there.
Because he's so good. Like I mean,
good.
his contract with New Japan's coming up, and the rumor is he doesn't want to live in the United States. So that's fine. Do you think he re-signs with New Japan with kind of like a working deal? Like I can go to AEW when I want to.
I think they offer him the pack deal,
where he like shows up every couple months and has some matches, and then
and then you're free to do like, I mean, he could still, when he goes back, he could go to New Japan, he could go to England, but yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, because again, WWE won't. I don't think they care at this point. Like they're, I don't even think that they would probably consider him if he like asked, but I don't think. I think AEW or New Japan is going to be where he goes.
Yeah, I agree, because like you said, he doesn't want, first off, that awful schedule, and he doesn't want to move. So
yeah. So they're not going to look at that from a wrestling standpoint and be like, oh, but he's a good wrestler, we'll give him what he wants. They'll just be like, oh, if he doesn't want to work here,
right,
then we're not going to throw money at him, because why would? But yeah.
Were either of you surprised that it was a clean win?
No, I wasn't. I thought Jericho was going to put him over, because all for everything we say about Jericho, and there's a lot. I thought he was going to put him over, and he did. So
yeah. And now about the ending, is JAS totally over now? I mean, he kind of snubbed Sammy. That
kind of bothered me only because Sammy should be the one leaving him. I still think. I don't think he should be snubbing Sammy, where Sammy's like, no, I want to be friends, and he leaves. I think Sammy should just get fed up with him and the way he's at. Maybe they'll still do that. Maybe Sammy will still get fed up with how he acts in turn, because I think that should be what happens. But I do think it's over. I think the rest of them are just going to go their separate ways, and maybe we get a Jericho Sammy feud out of this.
I'll take that.
It'll last 48 months.
Yeah, I was just going to say till All In 2029.
Sammy's kid will be graduating high school.
That's right.
Sammy's kid will be his tag team partner.
Jericho's 70 years old.
Yeah, Jericho will be 74.
There you go.
Anyways, Nigel McGuinness, they gave him the honors of going to the ring and announcing 81,035 in attendance, and it set a world record. And if you notice, they said 81,035 tickets sold, world record attendance. Yes. So that means WWE can't come in and say we had 1,100 million people because we counted everybody in the country times
I love that
10.
Because again, I saw someone say like, if say WWE did do Wembley next year or whatever and legitimately sell more, say they sold 85,000 actual tickets, they can't brag about it because they've already said they sold 100 and whatever to WrestleMania.
Right.
So now either they have to admit that they didn't sell those tickets for that, or they can't brag about it. So it's great.
Yeah. And I thought that was a nice little jab that they got in there.
I also like that Nigel got to do, because I think he was supposed to wrestle Danielson and then couldn't. So that sucks for him. That that's probably the only match he wanted to do. And if he wasn't going to get that match, he wasn't going to wrestle. So
he's so good at commentary.
He really is.
He's very good at commentary.
He's a gem.
He really is. He's very good.
And
he has the Bobby Heenan-ish heel where he rationalizes whatever the bad guys do, being like, no, they should have done that. It's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did learn that we're going to get All In again next year in Wembley. So we could get McGuinness and Danielson next year.
Were you surprised by that? I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be someplace else.
Yeah, and especially it's the same time. It's the week before All Out again.
Yeah, and he he, as in Tony Khan, in the media scrum, basically said it's going to be a yearly thing for as long as they keep selling the tickets.
Yeah.
So 2 pay-per-views in a week.
I was surprised they went back to Wembley right away.
True.
Do they maybe change when they start doing All Out?
He said they won't because he said he likes
wants
it that
to
week.
He wants to keep the tradition.
That's got to be insane for the performers and everyone to have to like do 2 pay-per-views in a week.
I did see someone say maybe they'll do it like they do WrestleMania, where there's night 1 and night 2, like All In and All Out are kind of one event, and half the show is on one show and half the show is on the other show. So like it's not necessarily going to be the same people.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Maybe they'll do that because it is hard to have to fly to England to do a show and then fly back and do another show.
Yeah, and the taping, like that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's what was nuts. Like the fact that they recorded 5 hours of television in one night.
Yeah,
and for some reason Orange Cassidy wrestled on all 3 shows. Like it made zero sense. I thought about that when I was watching Collision last week. I was like, wait a minute, this was taped Wednesday.
Yeah,
the poor guy. It's wrestled 60 minutes of the 5 hours.
See, that sort of stuff, I wonder, like, how that works because, like, I mean, when you have a contract, I'm assuming they have, like, number of days they're expected to wrestle, right, in their contract.
Yeah.
But is it, like, they tape those all in the same time?
So is that, like, one day?
Is that one day? Tony Khan's like, nope, you got to wrestle 3 times. Like, it says number of days, not number of matches, right? Like, or does he want that, or is that in his contract that he can do? Like, I don't know. I was just wondering about that. I know you guys don't know, but
I was gonna say if Vince wrote the contract, it would be I said days.
Yeah,
you have 43 matches next Tuesday,
and they're all in different cities.
Yeah, and they're all
good
in
luck.
Cities, and I'm not paying for your travel. Anyways.
Don't get CM Punk started on not covering their travel because that's going to be a whole other thing too.
Yeah. The trios belts. I was surprised that this match was this late in the card. Not that it didn't deserve it. I was just surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised too, but it is kind of like a good crowd match. Like it's not going to be super. It's not going to be super intense, like a one-on-one feud. But like the crowd will love it. The crowd will pay attention. The crowd will care. So it made sense that it was there.
Oh, and the crowd loved it, and they paid attention, and they cared.
And I like the House of Black's Bray Wyatt tribute at the
that was good. I couldn't remember. Was Buddy Matthews involved with Bray in NXT, like a feud or something?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't watch that much NXT.
Oh, see, neither did I. Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was cool that he had the lamp.
Yeah, I mean they were there at the same time, I think. So even if they didn't have it on,
maybe they
they just were friends.
Friends,
they were,
okay.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool that they did that, and I thought it was cool of Excalibur talking about the Fireflies.
Yeah, he mentioned that a couple times in the night. That was nice.
And I mean, they, as I said, they showed Mercedes, but let's talk about Max's rap. It was so good.
He's great. I love
so good.
Everyone loves the Acclaimed, but I love the Acclaimed.
Yeah. I mean, the natural evolution of them to that moment was really cool. Like you could say that MJF and Darby and Britt are all like homegrown, but legit homegrown are the Acclaimed.
Yeah, they were where they weren't a team till
they weren't a team,
so.
right? Yeah, they were just 2 indie wrestlers that were put together at a dark taping. That's a super cool story.
Yeah, and how Billy Gunn fit in with them was really good too. Like it's just I was surprised that they got to use Badass with 2 Ds because I know WWE put 2 Ds in it so they could trademark it.
Did it have 2 Ds?
Yeah, it had 2 Ds on the back of his tights.
Wow. That's very cool.
I thought it would just have one, like Taz. How Taz, they put 2 Zs at the end, or Zs for you guys. I was surprised, but I guess maybe they forgot, or maybe they just didn't care.
And I'm just not being facetious here. I'm wondering if it's because it wasn't in the United States, because that would be a United States patent.
Yeah, maybe. Or Vince or Vince is suing them right now.
He's, what?
There were 2 G's.
I love that because
Samoa Joe again.
I love how for no reason he just fired somebody. I'm telling you, Vince, he doesn't work here. Hire him and fire him again.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I love that. Like, yeah, he would own this trademark. He's not using this trademark, but like he's like, I could see him being mad. Like,
yes,
like he's not using it for anything, right? But like,
that's amazing. I'm so happy for the Acclaimed again, and for Billy. Since House of Black had a nice run, do you think the Acclaimed get a big run?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I hope it's a little longer than their tag run.
Yeah, they didn't get a great tag run.
That is true.
So maybe they get a good trios run. I'm not sure what they're going to do with them because, I mean, they already hinted at Billy Gunn retiring. Is this going to be like, oh, when he loses the titles, he retires? Or, I don't know.
That's true. The nice thing about the trios belts is they kind of organically have the same rules as the TNT title, where the champions get to make the rules.
Right.
So maybe the Acclaim can do something where, like, the Acclaimed stay in like the tag division, but just once a month they wrestle as a trio.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Billy could still be on TV, but not have to wrestle as much.
Right.
Where he could walk them to the ring as a tag, and then I don't know. I like it. Either way, more Billy Gunn.
I like it.
The man is in insane shape.
He is
unbelievable.
And
shape.
Also, he was bigger than everyone, even Brody. He was bigger, like, like
Yes.
it was like him against Malachi. I'm like, he dwarfs that man.
I know Brody's like the big tough guy, and Billy Gunn is just like Billy Gunn. But like, yeah, he's basically the same size.
I think he's bigger than him.
He's got to be what, like 6'6"?
He's
He has
6'6",
to
I
be.
believe.
He
He's a
has
big
to
guy.
be.
He's a ginormous man.
And he didn't. I know because like WWE obviously has a lot of big wrestlers. He didn't seem big when he like was in the WWE.
It just makes you think, like, how big is X-Pac? Because
Right.
he always looked little against those guys. And,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
they're
Maybe he's
enormous.
like 6. Maybe he's like 6'3". We have no idea.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm a little sad the house rules are gone because I like that
I know.
concept.
I like the house rules a lot.
I don't get why no one picked "you can't hit me" as a rule.
True. Right.
Like you get to pick one rule. Like, oh yeah, if you hit me, I get the titles. Like, why pick that?
Right.
Oh,
That should be the
and
rule.
how about Julia taking that scissor?
Yes, that was
And
surprising.
Taz immediately going right in the yam back.
And Calgary being like, "What?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's a figure of speech."
I laughed so hard.
I was
Taz
so
is
happy.
great. I love
Taz is
Taz.
amazing. I was so happy that spot happened, though. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
was
didn't
like,
expect that at all. I was
Totally.
surprised.
Me either.
And I
I
know maybe
was-
it's because it wasn't on regular TV because TV frowns upon obviously male and female
Right.
violence. But yeah, I liked it.
well, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, I mean, obviously they okayed it with her and everything, but the fact that happened on TV was just so absurd that it was great.
Yeah, it was great.
It was.
The Acclaimed are such a like attitude era team too, because like that's a dumb move, but it's
Yes.
great. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's clearly not the most dangerous move, nor is
Right.
it like make much sense, but like they do it and it's great and everyone loves it.
It's like Scotty Too Hotty's worm.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's the
They're
dumbest
such
thing,
an
but it's awesome.
attitude era team. Like they're
Yeah.
so silly, but it works. Like the scissor
Yeah.
thing seems so silly, but everyone loves it. Like it's great.
Yes. I wonder how many foam scissors they sold.
But I think that's the only merchandise they have.
They brought 11. That's all. They sold all 11.
I don't want to go on a rant because I wasn't there, but I saw pictures of the merchandise stands. Why do they not bring like individual wrestler merch to shows?
I don't get it.
I know it's because they sell it online and they want people to buy it online, but like, why would they not sell it at the shows? Like, the only thing they sell are like the event logo and then I was there. And I get selling that shirt. 'Cause, like,
Right.
yeah, you want, but like, would it kill you to have some other wrestler? Like again, when they came here, no Kenny Omega. No, they came to Canada, no Kenny Omega, no Chris Jericho. Then they came to the UK and they don't have anything for Saraya. They don't have come on.
And
Yeah.
why wouldn't the wrestler, like, if I worked at AEW and I was on this show, I would have bought 1,000 of my own shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees and resold them.
Right.
Like, seriously, why wouldn't you have done that?
Because like from what I saw, they only had like a BCC shirt and they always have Bullet Club and like CM Punk, which I'm sure sold out 2 minutes into the show. Yeah. And that's it. Like again, no Omega, no Jericho, no like why are you not selling Sting shirts? Everybody would buy a Sting shirt. What are you doing?
Totally. Yeah.
I don't get it. It's very weird.
Black shirts. I mean,
yeah. Like they should have everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we plan on talking to Luis, but he was there.
Yes.
He can maybe give us some merch updates.
Yes.
But it looked bad.
It did look bad. And
well, I saw people complaining about the merch on Reddit, and I was like, oh, some things never change.
How do they not know at this point? Like honestly.
I mean, Tony Khan's an analytics man. There has to be something in the numbers that there's a reason that they're doing it because
or maybe it's some deal with Pro Wrestling Tees, like they're not allowed or something.
That could be too.
I don't know, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Because after every single pay-per-view, you see people complaining about it, and they're an extremely online company. Like Tony Khan is probably reading about himself on Twitter as we speak.
Right.
So like he must know.
Yeah. And why wouldn't Pro Wrestling Tees, like, you think that they wouldn't care either? Like, so what if they had to print 10,000 Sting shirts and 4,000 came back? Right. You're like going to sell them anyway.
AEW could buy them from them and then just resell them. Like,
It's
weird.
I don't know.
It's very weird.
It is very weird. Very weird. Excuse me. The main event, world title, MJF versus Adam Cole. What did everybody think?
It was not the typical like AEW banger main event where it's just like this is the greatest wrestling match you've ever seen in terms of like in-ring wrestling, but in terms of like story and character work, and it was like outstanding.
Yeah,
this was the most sports entertainment match AEW has ever had.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I loved it.
Yes.
MJF, man, he just really is the ultimate wrestler.
He is. He's good at everything.
He is.
He's good at every single aspect of it.
Is he the new Danielson?
I think.
Technical wise, maybe not, but he's still good. But yeah, he could be. He's what, 25?
Yeah.
26. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so absurd.
I know. It's crazy.
Wow.
He's so good.
That is
his like facial expressions, his reaction. He knows his character so well, how his character would react to things. Like jumping to the ending, the fact that like Roderick Strong, once he realized Roderick Strong was like there to help Adam Cole, I loved he immediately was like, well, fine, I guess this never meant anything. Like he immediately like became a victim, and B, threw everything away. He wasn't going to listen to what Adam Cole had. He immediately was just like, well, fine, we're not friends anymore. Turn on me. That's fine. Hit me with the title. Like he immediately jumped into that. It's so fitting for like his character to like, okay, fine. It's slight difficulty with a friendship. I'm giving up. That's it. You screwed me. Right. You hate me. You've always hated me. I guess you've always hated me. Like it was, it's so good.
It was so good.
I know I went on kind of a rant there, but that was
great. That was wonderful.
I loved it. I loved everything about it. I was surprised. I didn't think that was what they were going to do.
None of us saw that coming.
The only thing... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, for once, I did not see that coming.
The only thing that I was going to complain about, I didn't like the double pin. Thought it was stupid.
I didn't like it either.
Because, like, that never happened. Like, I get that's why they did it, but you knew what it was going to lead to. Like,
right. I know they wanted to do the 5 more minutes thing, and this time he gave him the 5, but like it was unnecessary.
Yeah, at that point they should have had like did a double count out or something. Like double pin is just dumb.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I agree.
Yeah, that's other than that. That's my only.
Is this their best storyline ever? AEW's best storyline ever?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I know like previously it had been the Hangman Omega storyline, and that was really good too. But
Yeah.
this is not just their best storyline. I was trying to think of, is there a better storyline in recent wrestling? And I don't know how far back you have to go to get a better storyline.
Hold on, you're putting me on the spot. Keep talking. I'm gonna think. Keep
Because
talking.
like the biggest storylines in wrestling were all like, I haven't seen the Bloodline. Apparently the Bloodline is good, and I'm not even going to take a shot at WWE because apparently it's good. Like,
same here. I can't comment on that.
I can't comment on it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. It might be great. I have no idea. People, they seem to like it. But outside of that, you'd have to go back to like NWO or something to like.
I was going to go back even further. I was going to say Macho Man and Jake the Snake.
Yeah, the whole Macho Man Elizabeth story. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
My other thought was like, I loved the Bret Hart Canada versus USA storyline with him and Austin,
Great.
and like I thought that was great. But again, we're talking about like 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's like just like yesterday.
Right. But yeah, I can't think of anything. Macho Man, Elizabeth and Jake the Snake, or Bret. Yeah. Maybe NWO when it started.
Bret and Shawn in general.
Yeah, but like these are all really old stories. Like I can't think of anything in recent times that's been like great wrestling. Involves a lot of characters. Like they made the Kingdom a part of this. They made Roderick Strong part of this. They did like and you don't know what's going to happen. Like most wrestling we've talked about is pretty predictable, and this isn't at all.
Right. I think that's a reason too. I love it so much.
You know what was it whenever Cody came back?
When Cody had that without laughing. When Cody and Anthony Ogogo had that feud.
Yeah.
With the weigh-in and the fighting for America. that was it.
And credit to Anthony Ogogo on the pre-show. That dude has a future in journalism.
Well, he had a future in pro wrestling until
until everyone forgot he worked there. Until he was on the pre-show for All In.
That's right.
But unbelievable. Like it was like they hired somebody from like NBC Sports. Like he was throwing out stats and he was impressive.
So where do you think this goes now? I mean, they're tag team champion. They're ROH tag team champions too.
This is my theory. This was marketing 101. They are going to force everybody that if there's a such thing as a casual AEW fan, they are now forcing you to watch all of their television because they're going to put them on Ring of Honor. So you're going to have Wednesday nights Dynamite. You're going to have to watch Thursday night Ring of Honor, and then Friday Rampage, Saturday Collision. And it's all going to be an intertwining story because they're on every show.
If you want to see what happens next with them, you have to watch all the shows. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not like they're not just on Collision or they're not just Ring of Honor. Or they're not like these two are literally on every show now.
I wonder how long this will go. Like how long are they going to stay friends?
Like I was going to say, this will just last till the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Well, they just had theirs. So the next one's the end of the year. So.
Right.
So, I mean, let it go now. I mean, because
now it's good. Like, it's still good. Like, I like it. So keep it going, I guess.
When it crashes, it's going to burn. Like, in a good way. Like, people are going to be very divided over it, and it's going to be fun. Oh, imagine the internet over that.
I wonder what's going to happen with, like, Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. Because are they...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're going to be gunning for him.
The Kingdom's going to go for the tag titles, I'm assuming. The ROH tag titles.
Totally, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, but you're right. That made the ROH tag titles mean something, right? Like and not that they don't mean anything, but they haven't meant that much recently,
right?
So having them that'll be fun. I love it.
I love it too. It's wonderful.
Boy, MJF's gonna be wrestling a lot more, eh?
Yeah.
I love that MJF's turned into like company man MJF too. If you like see him on Twitter whenever anyone's criticizing AEW for anything, he immediately like jumps in to defend them now. He's no pun all in with this. That's why this idea of like the bidding war is not like he's signed like a 10-year multi-million-dollar contract for sure.
And totally. 1000%. Now, this is what I was just going to say is I mean, we all know MJF's love of like old WWF. Is he now like corporate rock?
I don't think he's
No,
not that bad.
because the corporation, like, that's always been a thing with WWE. The company in storyline and to fans, a lot of the company is the bad guy in WWE, right? Like Vince was bad.
Oh,
The
that's
authority
true.
was
That's
like
true.
in AEW, the company is not bad.
That's true.
The company is good, right? The fans like AEW.
Yeah.
The fans like Tony Khan. The fans, so you can't really do it that way.
That is true. So yeah, he would be like Austin then.
Yeah, he's the good guy, but is the company being a company guy in AEW is good.
Yeah, that wow, I got that totally. Wow, yeah.
Well, being a company guy in WWE is bad. Like it
It totally
fun.
makes sense if you think about it in real life.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. Do you think he's done? Like, is Adam Cole done going for the title? Is he just going to be his friend and be a tag partner, or is he going to still want the belt?
I guess we'll just have to keep tuned in.
Yes, I guess we will.
I don't think it's over. I mean, they're gonna have to do something.
Rubber match.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so fun though.
Who knows what's happening at All Out? You never know.
True, they could have a rubber match in 4 days. Unreal. Like,
I do think they'll have to market them like a 2-day event, like a WrestleMania 2-day event, where like the card of both shows in advance.
Yeah.
Because you can't build a show like we were talking before we came on. Like they've announced 3 matches maybe for All Out.
Yeah, I think 3.
You can't build the show in a week. I mean, you can,
right,
but you probably shouldn't. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, just keep talking for a second. I'll look up the card now and we'll go over what we know.
Because it's Ruby Soho against
okay.
Chris
Stat.
Which will be fun.
Okay.
Whoever against Mox. It's Miro and Hobbs.
Oh, Miro, Hobbs,
and Luchasaurus and Darby.
So that's 4.
Oh, so we know 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like because we've just talked about how Orange Cassidy and Darby just wrestle all the time, and they're like, hey, you know what? You're gonna be at both pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. You have no time to get over jet lag. You're just gonna wrestle.
Yeah, like Miro and Hobbs, I guess they were in England, but they didn't wrestle.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then but they're just like throwing them into 2 matches. Yeah. I think Darby, well, we'll talk about the card. I think Darby's gonna win the title.
I think so too.
But what I really hope happens is Darby beats Luchasaurus and Christian takes the title and just claims that it's still his because he's the champion.
Yes, totally. I agree.
That would be fun. And then Hobbs, for some reason, has a printed and bound book of Hobbs, which is a little odd. But that match will be fun.
I don't know where that match goes because like Miro's like had like 1 match since losing to Darby like a year ago.
Right.
So do you make him lose again, or do you ruin the little wave that Hobbs is on?
Yeah, it's weird, and they're going to involve QT, which I did a promo on Rampage that I enjoyed. I thought he was good, like the sit down interview I think he had with JR. That was good.
Oh, great.
But I don't want him around Hobbs still.
I agree.
So I don't know. I have no idea what happens there. Biddy knows everything. What happens, Biddy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn it, Biddy.
I honestly haven't been following that one as closely, so I can't.
And then Ruby and Stat. I think Stat probably wins. Maybe that leads to more downfall of the Outcast. Maybe Ruby's just like, well, fine, you're fighting. I'm going to win a title too, and then doesn't. And that.
Yeah.
Oh, what if she's going to win and then Tony keeps her from winning?
Yeah, because she doesn't want to be the only one for the belt. That'd be
right.
Good. Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, poor Ruby. Like
Ruby's whole gimmick in AEW is just like getting screwed out of titles. But
yeah,
I wonder if that's like some inside baseball of like old WWE politics. Like they told her like, oh no, you're gonna win the women's title tonight, and then like, oh, guess what, you're losing now. Like, oh, thanks. Like I was supposed to win the title 11 times.
Yeah, All Out will be fun, but it is odd
Yes.
that it's so close to All In.
All In.
And apparently they're going to keep it that way.
Yes.
But there was also alluding to the streaming service, which I'm pretty sure is a thing that is going to happen eventually.
think they're
Yeah.
waiting because they have a new deal probably coming up with Warner whenever
Yeah.
that's going to happen. I think that they're waiting for that maybe.
And like I said, like Tony even talked about like they ran like analytics for like 6 or 7 months. I forget what he said exactly, but like he's like, oh yeah, it's all there. It's all theirs. It's just a matter of going. So
Yeah, I think maybe he just can't announce it until they announce
right.
the new deal or something.
And
yeah.
I think that's where all these pay-per-views are going to end up.
Right. I do think they might try it. I think that for the first year they're going to be like, hey, let's see if people will buy them all.
I think they're going to do the opposite of what WWE did. I think they will still offer it for like a casual fan, or you can just pay a monthly, like, I don't know, if they bring AEW Plus into Max or something.
But why would anyone buy the pay-per-views if you can just buy, like, unless the monthly fee is $50? Why would you buy a pay-per-view?
Because somebody might not, like, if someone, like, if their kid likes it, they're not going to spend $50 a month. Or they're not going to spend like $10 a month to get every pay-per-view. If they're,
but like,
I see what you're saying.
One pay-per-view is $60, so you can subscribe to it for 6 months.
Well,
or buy one pay-per-view.
I mean, the people who have cable aren't going to buy the streaming service, probably.
Totally by the streaming service. I don't have to do anything.
And would they keep the ROH one are they going to bundle that in? Because that would be good.
I think they would bundle everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be good if they had all of them together. That would be fun.
And like, even if they put like, I read somewhere online, like, even if there's like legality in, if Warner wouldn't want them to run the pay-per-views on the streaming service live, like, okay, if you want to watch it live, you could pay, I don't know, just say an extra $10, or it'll be available the next day.
Right. Or they could do what, like, I think UFC does, where like you buy the streaming service, and Fight kind of does too. You buy it, and then the pay-per-view is only $20 or something if you have the streaming service.
Oh, okay.
Versus if you don't have it, it's still $60.
That makes sense too. And then of course it gets like logged in the service for like a library.
Right.
So
and maybe it's available like a week later in the library. Right. But if you want it live, yeah. Okay. That would make sense.
That does, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Does anyone have anything else to add?
No.
We'll do thanks, Biddy.
Yeah.
We'll do question of the week, which is do you like All In and All Out being this close to each other? Or what do you think?
No.
Agreed.
And I guess expanded question. What do you think of all the pay-per-views? Like having more of them?
I don't mind it.
Mind having a couple more, but you got to space it out, man. This 2 in 1 week or whatever.
Yeah, you have to space it out, and you have to like. I don't want 12.
I agree. No. There's too many. It doesn't feel special.
That's too many, and you can't do anything. Like you can't build anything in 3 weeks in between pay-per-views. If there's they have to be spaced out, and they have to not be 12 of them. Like 7 or 8 maybe tops, and space them out.
Well, let's see. Well, they just added 2, right?
Yes. So we're up to 6.
So it's 6. Okay, that's every other month.
No, we're up to 7, aren't we?
No.
Full Gear.
Revolution.
All Out.
All Out.
All In. Forbidden Door.
Wrestle Dream.
Double or Nothing.
Oh, so 7.
Yeah. I forgot about Double or Nothing.
And I guess Forbidden Door is not a straight AEW pay. It's AEW New Japan, but it's still a pay-per-view.
True.
Yeah.
Plus ROH has 3.
Well, that's 9. Yeah. It's 10.
Yeah.
Huh.
They start putting Adam Cole on there and MJF, then you'll.
Now, if they would spread 12 pay-per-views through the 2 companies,
I would
accept that.
Yeah, that would be fine because you could just not watch the ROH ones if you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't need to watch those live or.
Right. Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, nobody has anything to add. Biddy, don't yell at me again. Okay. Yeah. So just before we go, what would you rate the show? Everyone's given it like pretty positive reviews, but what would you?
I don't know if it's their greatest pay-per-view ever because like they've had a lot of really good ones.
Okay.
But I can't
It's
think of
up there.
anything. I can't think of anything I didn't like. So how could you not make that like at least a 9 out of 10?
Yeah, I'd say it's solid 9 out of 10.
Yep.
Agree.
Because all of it was really good. I mean, they'll
It
have to
didn't.
they'll have to have a bad pay-per-view at some point. I'm assuming.
Totally. 1000%.
I know, Rick, you didn't watch it live, but it was actually kind of nice to have it during the day too.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though it was kind of weird. Like when it ended, I felt like it was like 11 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh, it's 4:30."
Yeah.
Like I was like really confused on time for a minute.
Now the pre-show was 2 hours. I didn't think it was supposed to be 2 hours.
Yeah, it was weird. And
Because
it wasn't
I watched it late, so I went to the one on Fight just to start the
Mhm.
pre-show, and it was an hour. And you start with Renee going, "We're into hour 2 of the pre-show," and I'm like, "What do you mean hour 2?" And then the other half was on YouTube.
Yeah, and I didn't even get a pre-show on like the cable. It was just all YouTube this time.
Yeah, because it's 2023.
Well, they usually run the YouTube thing on cable though. That's
see.
what I like. It's usually the YouTube feed to the like you could switch back and forth.
Right.
And there was none of that. It was weird. It started directly at 1 and it ended. How did yours end? Because mine ended kind of weird.
I don't remember what the actual ending was. Like where the last how did yours end?
Like they were like doing the confetti and everything, and Excalibur just went like he was just about to thank everybody for watching, and it just boom, over.
Oh, okay.
Ours finished.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
cut off awkwardly. It ended properly.
Yeah, it was just like, ladies and gentlemen, and then it was just like a black screen.
That's
like,
one of
oh,
those
man.
things where like they paid for 4 hours of pay-per-view
Yeah.
time and like they hit it. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll go because everyone's getting restless now.
Like, share, subscribe, rate.
Please.
Love.
Yes.
All those things. And thank you again, everybody. This is our review show. You'll hear from us again after All Out.
Yes.
Maybe Monday, but we're not going to make any promises. So
got things to do, man.
Yeah, like watch a lot of wrestling.
Yes.
So everybody, thank you again, and until next week. Later.